Well, I have to say that that was a pretty fun game. I didn't get to see the first period, but the rest of the game was a heck of a game to watch. So Tampa Bay has evened the series. It is now 1-1 after Boston had taken game one. And this was a fun game. If you did not get to watch it, go back and watch the abbreviated version. Really fun game. So let's break it down a little bit. Boston gets on the board first. So a little over 3 minutes into the game, Richie scores a goal that if I'm a Tampa Bay fan, I'm not happy about. If I'm a Bruins fan, I'm saying, oh, it's perfectly fine. What is there to complain about? So it kind of goes like this. Player takes a shot from Vasilevsky's trapper side, misses the net. Maybe it was intentional. Hits the backboards, pops out Vasi's blocker side. Richie gets it. I think he gets it, shifts it to his backhand, if I remember correctly. Directs it at the net, and it's kind of under, to me, it looked like it's under Vasilevsky's pad. And Vasilevsky, you could argue he had it covered under his pad. Richie's able to take another hack or two at it, and somewhere in there it pops loose and ends up going over the goal line. The argument could be made. It was covered by Vasi's pad. It should have been blown dead. The whistle was not blown. The puck ends up in the net. It's 1-0. But later in the first period, with somewhere between 7 and 8 minutes left, Bogosian gets, I don't really want to call it a breakaway, but he's able to get a little bit of a step on the Bruins players. And as he's falling down, he makes just a beautiful pass over. And dang it, now I'm forgetting who scored it, but whoever it was is basically falling down and is able to tip it on net, and it goes past Halak. Just an absolute highlight reel goal. And so it's 1-1 there with 7.5 roughly minutes remaining in the first. So in the second period, the Bruins go up 2-1 on a power play goal. If I remember the goal correctly, I think somebody, I'm forgetting who, threaded a beautiful pass from the left wing face-off circle high on the power play through the center right to the Bruins player who will not be named, and he deflected it in to make it 2-1 Boston. I think that was about 4 or 5 minutes left, maybe 5 or 6 minutes left in the second. But I don't know, a minute later, Kucherov ties it back up again to make it 2-2. A really nice pass, kind of from the high on the left wing faceoff circle to high on the right wing faceoff circle. Shattenkirk takes a shot. I think it was a one-timer, if I remember correctly, and Kucherov is right in front of the net, and he's able to deflect it. I would say not much Halak could do on that one. At this point, all the goals that have been allowed are just really quality goals by the scorers, no fault on the part of the goaltenders. Then about halfway through the third period, Coleman scores. That's who scored the earlier Tampa goal that I couldn't remember. Coleman gets his second goal of the game. It's a breakaway, and I think the argument could be made that Halak should have had it, but here's what happens. It goes 5-hole, and that's a save you really need Halak to make. However, in Halak's defense, I will say this. I think Halak expected the puck to come at him harder and faster. And I think Coleman did not get everything on it that he wanted. I think Coleman was trying to get lift on that puck. He was trying to shoot it, I don't know exactly where or how high, but it stayed on the ice and it ends up going 5-hole. Now, in all fairness to the idea that Halak didn't do what he should have, if Halak keeps his stick square to the shooter and covering the 5-hole, that goal doesn't go in. But I've seen that happen a million times. It is difficult when you go down to keep that stick perfectly level to the ice, flat on the ice, and perfectly upright. So, these things happen. It sneaks by Halak. I could see people saying he should have had it, but I can also see the argument that it kind of handcuffed him because he probably thought it was coming in harder. Then Later in the game, the Boston Bruins player, who I will not name, is able to score a goal over Vasilevsky's left pad, basically. And this is a situation where if you're a Tampa fan, I think you got to be frustrated by the defensive breakdown on this goal. And here's what I mean. Boston comes out trying to tie the game, and they're just pouring it on. There were multiple occasions in that sequence where Tampa Bay gained possession of the puck in the defensive zone. And in order to clear the zone and be able to get a change, they just get the puck out, but only into the neutral zone. Obviously, if you go too far, you get called for icing. But I think there were a couple times there where they could have maintained possession and tried to skate the puck out. But instead, they just cleared it out to the neutral zone and effectively just gave the puck right back to Boston. Well, that led to a situation where Boston had a little sustained pressure in the offensive zone, and they were able to make a very good play to the guy who then scored the goal. So it's 3-3 late, and we go into overtime. And there were occasions late in the game where both goaltenders had to make some good saves. Interestingly enough, other than the goals, I would not say that there were like a multitude of overwhelmingly high quality chances by either team where the goaltenders really had to stand on their heads. But the goaltenders were both solid for the most part, although you could argue that the third goal by Halak was, I think weak would be too much, but maybe that he should have had it. So we go into overtime, and it's all Tampa Bay. I mean, Tampa Bay came out to play in the overtime. They outshot Boston 9-1 in the overtime period, and Palat scores the game-winning goal. He takes a shot on Vasi's left side. On Halak's left side. I can't remember if it was on net or if it missed the net, but it ended up going behind the net, coming out the other side. And a Tampa Bay player took a shot on Halak, and I think Halak made a save, and it kind of popped out onto Halak's left side where Palat was, and he had more or less an open net. So, to put this thing in perspective, Tampa Bay had 40 shots in the game and scored 4 goals. So that's a 90 save percentage on Halak's part. You definitely would argue 3 of the goals that Halak allowed were not bad. You could, some people would argue that third goal that he allowed was not good, and some would argue otherwise. Either way, he played extremely well. I think Vasilevsky only saw I think it was 25 shots, if I remember correctly. It wasn't a ton, but he played fine. He definitely, you're not going to hold any of the goals that he allowed against him. So anyway, series is 1-1. Let me know if you're a Boston fan, how you feeling after that. It's not like Boston, they kind of got routed on the shots on goal side, honestly, especially when you factor in that overtime bit. But overall, it was a pretty even game. In fact, there were some significant amounts of time where I thought the ice was slanted a little bit in Boston's favor. So if I'm a Boston fan, I'm coming away from this thinking, yeah, they got outshot. But if you take away those 9 overtime shots, then the shots are actually pretty equal. I'm a little disappointed that Boston didn't come out. If I'm a Boston fan, I'm saying I'm a little disappointed that Boston didn't come out to play a little more in the overtime. But, sometimes those things just happen. But overall, if I'm a Boston fan, I'm saying the game was overall pretty even a little bit in Boston's favor, I would say, more than not, by if you watch the play. So I'm not feeling too bad about an overtime loss if I'm Boston. However, if I'm a Tampa fan, I'm also saying, look, we can hold our own against this very strong and very powerful Boston team. So I think, like I said, I think I did a preview on this series, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I said it was going to go 7, and I still hold to that. This looks like a really even matchup, and I'm excited to see the rest of these games. So thank you so much for watching. If you found this video entertaining, useful, informational in any way, please do give it a like. Click the little like button that's down there somewhere, and do please subscribe if you have not already. That would mean a whole lot to me, and I would appreciate it. Thank you again for watching, and have yourself an awesome day. Bye now.